Hello and welcome to episode 10. And this week I really wanted to reflect on the past 9 weeks and to take some space to talk by myself. It's been so enriching having these conversations and to be hearing the myriad of stories, thoughts and perspectives about music. I have some more wonderful interviews already recorded and lots of exciting guests lined up. And I guess there are as many stories as there are people, so I shan't be running out of content anytime soon. Anyway, when I ask guests about their journey, I think it really makes me reflect upon my own, and key moments sometimes reveal themselves, reminding me not only of the joy, the reward and the challenges of our work, but also the responsibility that we have to our students and participants. One moment in particular keeps coming back to me as it's really powerful and about my relationship with music. It was when I was 15 at school, and my guitar teacher had decided that he was going to quit school. He was getting a bit despondent with students, some of their lack of motivation, lack of practicing, and sometimes not turning up, etc. My usual lesson was usually fairly late in the afternoon. I think it was a penultimate lesson, actually. Anyway, on the last day that he taught, my teacher, he booked me in for an earlier slot, much earlier than I normally had. Anyway, one by one, he turned away each student as they came, and we ended up playing for about 2 hours, I think. And we didn't really speak. We just played. Just shared, improvised, just jamming, and I know for the last 15 minutes or so, we both had damp eyes. They weren't tears, but it was kind of it really meant something. We didn't say, there was no big goodbye, there was no "I'll miss you," anything like that. I think that the music itself transcended all of that. But it was a very deeply moving experience. And quite emotionally charged, really. And I think, it was very much two people who cared very deeply for the music that they made. It was a really valuable lesson that day. And I think I kind of really learned that music has power to transform negative feelings into positive ones. And music builds relationships in really unexpected ways. But it also brings up an issue about intimacy. That was quite an intimate moment in my life to share that experience, particularly as a child with an adult. And if I made the statement, I had an intimate experience with my guitar teacher, well, that's quite a statement and doesn't really reveal all of the context. I mean, yeah, I was given preferential treatment by turning other students away, and that's something I would never do. But I felt very safe, and to this day, I see it as an incredible learning experience, learning about the power of music and what it does. And it gives me a wonderful thing to reflect on, but it also teaches me about responsibility, and the responsibility about how I set up my work. What are the boundaries, and having very, very clear boundaries in place. And of course, that's why we don't give preferential treatment. But it's a wonderful experience to have had and to be able to reflect on in a very real sense. I had a lot going on in my life at that time. My brother Peter, who's sadly no longer with us, was just sort of being diagnosed with quite serious mental health problems. And I've got 2 older brothers. So I was at boarding school and they'd both left by that time, so I was sort of the only one left at school. And so there's all this going on in the background at home, and it kind of, it was affecting me very deeply. But the music gave me a place to really immerse myself in. And it was a really, really wonderful place to immerse myself in. A very safe, great way to express things. As I've alluded to in some of the other episodes, my own journey through music wasn't always easy, and I think, working in commercial music, I had more and more exposure to lots of drugs and a lifestyle which wasn't particularly healthy. Very late nights, long days, no days off, and that kind of really had a negative impact on my mental health. And it wasn't until after, very sadly, my brother died, Peter, and I ended up in rehab. And it was then that I came into contact with the whole idea of community music. And as I said in a previous episode with Phil Mullen right at the beginning, that was my light bulb moment. When I suddenly understood that music could be a really positive influence in my life. And I think I returned to that state of being 15 and understanding this wonderful thing, this wonderful power that music has to transform and to liberate us. And I haven't really looked back since. That's been the mainstay of my career now, is working in community music. I still write, still record, I still release stuff. But really, it's about working with particularly vulnerable groups and experiencing music with them. But I think because of my experiences, I'm now really interested in well-being and how do we look after ourselves as practitioners and creators. We spend a lot of time giving, and we're all busy. We have busy lives. We have families, people who want our time, and I think it's really important, to always find some time for ourselves, to take time out to reflect, and to look after our own well-being, self-care. Funny enough, this morning I did a little well-being session as a guest in the Soundcastle community, which was really wonderful. And my interview with Rachel Perrin from Soundcastle will be going out next week, so you can hear all about that. But it's just so great to have an opportunity to take some time out and give back to us as practitioners. I did some breathing and some mindfulness stuff, and that's great. And I take time out for myself now, and every day I try and start the day with a very short practice, doing some stretching, some breathing. Make sure I drink a large glass of water before I start the day, and it makes such a difference. And I can't encourage us enough as practitioners and musicians, teachers, to take that time to set up our day in a much more positive way, and to have an intention and hold space for ourselves. And so over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to release a couple of bonus episodes, which I don't recommend you listen to if you're driving, and just do a couple of simple breathing techniques and relaxation techniques, and just share some of that practice with you, and hope you get something from it. Well, thanks so much for listening, and it's been really nice just to take a bit of time out and as I said, reflect back on the last 9 episodes. It's been really, really exciting and rewarding for me to be able to share this stuff, and I look forward to many, many more episodes, and hope you keep listening. Thanks so much.